I didn't come in with like an excessive amount of weight, but I was carrying a lot of fat that I didn't want to have. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to see some more definitions, but I've dropped 5% body fat in 6 months.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, so today I've got another Warrior Babe here with us, Warrior Babe Kristy. She came to Warrior Babe after trying everything from fasting to low carb diets to hit workouts with no lasting results. And she felt stuck, she felt frustrated, and she was ready to accept gaining weight in her 40s was just inevitable. And she's going to get into her story today with us. Kristy, welcome.
Thank you. So I did not come from a family that focused on fitness or nutrition at all. The most I saw my parents do was take walks after dinner, so it just wasn't a thing for me. And it was probably in my 20s that I started discovering that I could do something to actually change maybe the shape of my body or the strength of my body. And so I started with Pilates just a couple times a week and started to get some shape, and that was great. And I would say in my 20s and 30s, I was very much someone who would tell you I ate for survival. I'm like,
Mm.
I can live on bread and diet soda alone. And as long as I ate in moderation, I was doing okay. But I was definitely, let's say, I didn't fix my childhood traumas with food. I was not somebody who ate my feelings. I did other things probably that were destructive, but not that. And so it was kind of easy. Then I got in my 30s and I had infertility and was on all the hormones, everything that, comes with infertility for a couple of years. Got pregnant with twins and, gained 55 pounds and, you know, bed rest and all that.
Whew.
But anyway, after that, your hormones just kind of go crazy, and I lost all the weight. And then they were keeping me busy, and it was just something I wasn't focusing on. Then the weight started kind of coming, right? It was like a little bit every year. I started noticing that the things I was doing before weren't working anymore. Well, you've got kids around, and it's like whatever's left on their plate, you eat, and you just keep going.
Sure.
So,
Moms will definitely resonate with that.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So into my 40s, let's say that was COVID hit, what, 5 years ago? So yeah, let's
Mhm.
say 42, I had probably put on 10 pounds, right? It was like, and then I'm thinking, okay, if this happens every decade, then what are my 60s
Mm.
gonna look like? And looking at my family history, I thought this is just what happens in your 40s. This is just part of it. But I was a little resistant to accepting that. And so I started COVID, we had a lot of extra time, right? So I was just researching all the things.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of started shifting out of yoga and thinking, okay, I need to do a little bit more strength training. So maybe I'll try to follow this online workout and do a little bit of strength training. Well, that wasn't really working. Let me try this metabolic renewal, and maybe I'll get the HIIT workouts and I can do it from home. And oh, I'm going to burn so many calories and this is going to be great. Then I read, okay, no calorie deficit. All right, so I'm going to get to 1,200 calories a day. And, every time I would try something new, just like most people probably would say, you lose a little
Mhm.
bit of weight. You're like, oh, this is going to work. It's great. And then a few weeks later, you're like, this isn't really working. I think I need to move to the next thing.
Yeah.
So tried intermittent fasting. Yes, I tried all of those things.
Were you one of those too that the scale affected how you felt on a daily basis too, if you stepped on it? Were you stepping on it every day, or like
I was
what
stepping
did
on it
you think
every
looked like?
day. Yeah,
Really?
I was stepping on it
Okay.
every day. And it didn't necessarily control how I felt about me, but it made me control my behaviors differently each day. So if it was looking better, I might allow myself something. If it was looking worse, I might not. So it was more
Okay.
controlling
Yeah.
me than my feelings. I also asked the question, if I can't do this until I'm 80, I don't want to start doing it.
Well, that gave me the chills. Oh, I love that
Which is why
question.
yoga was kind of like, oh, I can do this for life. I look next
Sure.
to me, someone on the mat next to me is 80. I'm like, all right, this is something we can do for life.
Sure.
But then it stopped working. Like, it's not like it doesn't work, because yoga is amazing and still has so many wonderful benefits, but it wasn't enough.
So when you asked yourself that question when you were doing like intermittent fasting and like low carb diets, what was your answer?
They didn't work for me. I mean, it just
Yeah.
wasn't enough. And I didn't have a lot of energy and my sleep was struggling. Now, it was COVID, right? So there was a lot of other things going on. I also
Sure.
got remarried and blended a family 3 months before
Oh,
COVID hit. And so it was just like there was a lot going on.
sure.
Um, There were 8 of us in the house. So,
Holy cow. Okay, I should have asked that when you said blended family. I'm like, okay, how big's the family? 8 of you guys. Holy cow.
well, I have 2, he has 3, and then my mom lives with us, and she's lived with me since the kids were born. So it's been,
Ooh.
we have a full house. Yes. Yeah.
What told that trial and error, like going back and forth and like, trying all these different things? Did that take a toll on like your confidence or motivation on a daily basis too?
Well, I was starting to give up. I mean, I
Yeah.
was starting to say, I mean, not fully give up because I don't think I'd ever stop trying something, but I just thought I had to accept what the mirror was showing me and also what my mind was telling me, right? I was telling myself all kinds of stories that, you know, this isn't going to work and there's not going to be something that's ever going to make me feel that confidence that I once had.
There's another question that kind of popped in my mind there when you were talking about like, did you think that you were like, because you were following programs, like you were following
Right.
just like what you were kind of being told to do.
Yes.
So at that point, like I can understand that it felt like you were doing everything right. Like you thought you were doing everything right because this is what the program is telling you to do, but you still weren't getting the results that you wanted. Like, how did that feel? Like you were like, well, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm still not where I want to be. How did that feel for you?
So I didn't have the one-on-one touch with any of those programs, right? There was no
Right.
personal coach, no one I could talk to about why isn't this working for me or what am I doing wrong? And so I thought, well, they just don't know my body. My body's different. It needs a different formula. I just hadn't found the right thing.
I wanted to touch on you mentioned in the little form that I was reading for you to come on to this interview with me that you wanted to see muscle definition, you wanted to see that more like tone, but you didn't know the difference between fat and muscle or losing weight, losing fat. How did that knowledge gap, like you learning about that, how that impact how you saw like how you were to go about getting results and how you saw your body at that point?
So understanding that even if you cut out all the fat, even if you were to be in a deficit for a long time and were able to cut fat, that doesn't mean you have muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I didn't know, I didn't really realize. I just thought it was covering up the muscle that I had, but I
Sure.
really didn't have any muscle
Yeah.
and at least not a lot of muscle. And then I was retaining fat on top of that. So, I've already been through one cut actually, and it did not reveal as much as I thought it would because I hadn't built as much as I thought I had. That has been eye opening, just figuring out, like, you don't know what you don't know.
Sure. I was gonna say, like, I didn't know that either when I first
Right.
started. So, like, I'm in the same boat with
Right.
you on where you're in your journey, when I first started. So, yeah,
Right.
100%. You don't know what you don't know
You
for
don't know
sure.
what you don't know. And so it has been really fascinating to learn. Like, so I was eating for survival, right?
Hmm.
Now I eat for fuel.
Amen.
Yeah. And that's it.
Amen,
Yeah.
sissy.
And I mean, I may not be somebody who's like a foodie. I'm kind of like you where I'm fine with boring. I'm fine with it being 5 of the same consistent meals every day. So I am fine with that, which helps, I think.
For sure. You don't have to, there's a lot, you have, I mean, you are manning 8 people in that household. Like you said,
Yeah.
you have a lot of responsibilities and there was a lot of time that was taken up from even putting yourself first. So if there's one thing that you can take, the thought process out of for you and that being food and making it just super simple things to eat throughout the day,
Right.
no brainer. You
Right.
don't have to think about it.
Yeah. But I wasn't eating enough. So now I'm eating 800 more calories a day at least.
Jaw drop. For the people not watching this on video right now, my jaw just dropped. What? 800 more calories in a day?
Yes. And I still feel hungry sometimes, which is awesome because I'm like, oh, my body's finally doing what it was supposed to do. And so now my body's trusting me and I feel hungry. I feel skinny from within. Like, regardless of what I look like on the outside from the very beginning, I started to feel that inside and it felt amazing. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
Kristy.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And you can regurgitate like that, like say that and with like a knowing behind
Yeah,
it, and
yeah,
you fully understand it.
right.
And that is
hmm
knowledge is power. To
Right.
have that type of power that you've gained on this journey is huge to set you up for success. Yeah,
hmm
continuing forward.
Yeah, so I definitely had to trust the process, and I think investing in it for a year and putting
Yeah.
some financial investment into it actually is making me show up. I'm paying for it and I'm showing up for it, and I'm going to do all the things. Everything that they tell me to do, I'm going to do, and I just trusted it, and I'm like, cuz truthfully it was a last ditch effort.
all the women I've had on these interviews, when they mention like I just listened, I trusted the process, I didn't let my own like past successes or things get in the way, or stories, or not necessarily like stories of like past
Right.
programs,
Right.
not necessarily the stories of like eating, from what how you grew up or whatever. That has been like a ongoing theme that I'm hearing with why you're also so successful.
Hmm.
You just
Yeah.
listened
Yeah.
to the process and trust the
Hmm.
process, and that's how
Right.
you're, successful with it. Last ditch effort. What about Warrior Babe felt like it was giving you hope?
So I ran across your, advertisements, and I went through to get the free stuff at the end because I was
Sure.
all about the free stuff, which is
Yeah.
amazing that you do that, by the way.
Yeah.
So I get to all the free stuff at the end. And then I got, the call like, hey, come talk to us. Let's schedule an interview. Let's talk. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm not ready. I know it's going to cost money. I don't want to put any money into this because nothing I've done has worked. Right. And so what if it's just another one of those things that doesn't work for me? Right. It's just the negative self talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then I followed the podcast, every little email you sent. I listened to every little snippet, about today and all this. And I got a lot of that. And I listened to all of it. And it just, I think over time, it probably took me 6 months before I was like, okay, I need to do this for me. And I talked to my husband about it. Like, this is a financial investment. Can I do it? And he was all for it and very supportive, which is also a big part of
Huge.
success, right?
Yeah.
And I'm appreciative for that. But I thought, well, I've never had someone hold my hand really and teach me and to really understand my body, to see my pictures, to see my measurements, to know what I've done, to see what I'm eating, what I'm trying, like all of that, I think it was the first time. So I was like, if that doesn't work, then I don't even know what to do. Right. So I did feel like I needed that personal touch.
Now, so you mentioned the value of the program and the investment that it went into it.
Mhm.
With everything else you tried, I would assume they're like, I don't know how much the programs are. I don't know.
$70. Like,
Yes, I was gonna say like
I mean,
175.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, they're ongoing, like a subscription, it's like you get the videos, you get the workouts, that kind of thing. But the other thing I could not embrace and didn't embrace until now is that it's really like 80% nutrition and 20% workouts. I
I was
was
gonna
trying to put all the effort into the workouts. Like, and even now when I tell people what I'm doing, and I'm starting to have people randomly ask me questions about what I'm doing, which is really fun because I,
change is
I know.
happening.
And this time I actually got a question yesterday. It wasn't like, are you losing weight? It was like, are you lifting weights? And I was like, oh,
Oh,
yes.
that is such a
That's
compliment,
a
right?
strange
That's why it
compliment.
feels
Yeah.
so good.
There's so much that I've learned about the nutrition piece. And I mean, I've heard about macros before, and I had tried some of that with the metabolic workouts and things, but I didn't understand necessarily the balance. I didn't
Mhm.
understand really the fueling part and what you really needed. I was going to all of my workouts on a fast. I was not. I know.
I just crossed my eyes,
I
guys.
know. I just like it didn't even I was eating after, and yeah, so I learned about pre-workout, I learned about post-workout. I've learned, the food. I'm eating 150 grams of protein now. And I'm splitting it out into 5 meals. Like, how do I get that in 5 meals? And, as much whole foods as possible. And, all
Mhm.
those small practical things that I've learned. It's all the education that comes with the coaching and the nutrition. I mean, I've even been handed meal plans. I haven't necessarily used all of them because I'm also trying to think, well, how can I make this fit into my lifestyle? It needs to be the kinds
Mhm.
of foods that are in my house that I like, that I will eat. That's the thing. Can I do this into my 80s? Yes,
Exactly.
I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did it look like first starting with your coach in like the first month with macros? Like your ability to put it into action. What did that look like?
As I said, I just tried to do everything they told me to do. So I asked a lot of questions. I think I started with just tracking, right? So she could see what I was doing.
Hmm.
And then added in, more protein each week as I was retraining my metabolism. I think I retrained pretty quickly though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 6 months in and you're eating 800 more calories than you
Mhm.
were, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
I did gain just a little bit of weight, but I was like, well, I'm eating more food, of course, but I'm just gonna trust that this is part of it.
Hmm.
And it quickly like started going back down. But I was all in from the very beginning. And I mean, that's my biggest piece of advice to anyone who decides to invest in this program with their time, their energy, everything is to do it all. The other thing I have to be honest about is it's not like you jump in and you're doing all the things.
Hmm.
You're getting little bits at a time so that your habit stacking and figuring out how to get there. And it's amazing the amount of knowledge I've accumulated over 6 months that I had none of, at the beginning.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Christy, you should be so proud of yourself. And like, from where we were talking about this at the beginning of your journey to where you are now, and just how has your view changed of yourself from the beginning to now?
I mean, I definitely have grown in confidence, but I actually feel like I'm loving myself.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me. But I have hope in like being able to tackle this part of myself, knowing that I have tools and resources and education and things to move into the next couple of decades. And I watch the other women in this group, which is another part of the community, is I'm like, I see 60, I see 70, and I
Yeah.
see them, I don't know what that's going to look like for me with actual weights and things like that, but I know that this is something that's sustainable, and that is 100% what I was looking for. And so
Hmm.
I'm
And
grateful. I'm really grateful to have found it.
that's amazing. Oh, I'm happy you found us too. I'm happy you trusted in us
Hmm.
at the beginning of the journey, because I know that investment can be a little, it could be like, whoa, a little. It's a pricey investment, but you made the investment in yourself and you showed up. I wanted to talk about, we talked about some of your achievements, but sleep was another one that I was interested in and curious on, because you've had better sleep now. So, what
Hmm.
did your sleep look like before, and what does it look like now?
Yeah, and that's an ongoing journey. Trying to figure out what works to keep me in deep sleep. So I have this amazing bed that tracks my sleep, and it tells me what my deep and my REM, and it's probably similar to what an Aura
What
ring.
bed is it?
It's a Tempur-Pedic sleep tracker.
Okay, cool.
So it tracks all of that, my heart rate, and gives me a score, which is not, I don't love the score part because I'm like, no, I thought I slept better than that.
Yeah, my bed does
Um,
that too. I have a sleep number and it does
okay.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that now it started giving me a performance report. Like, this is how you're going to perform today. And I'm like, no, no,
Oh
you
no,
don't get
you
to tell
see,
me how I'm.
that perfectionist mentality
I
can
know.
come
I'm
into
like, no,
play there with that. Yeah.
yeah. So, I definitely wasn't focused on the sleep as part of what was needed for my overall well-being. Like, I've
Mhm.
always liked sleep, and I have been a 7 to 8 hour sleeper the majority of my life, but not really focused on and committed to making sure that was a part of the puzzle. So
Yeah.
I just sleep heavier. I sleep more soundly. And I actually don't fully know why yet, but my sleep has been more restful. I'm not like aching in the night like maybe I was before. So I don't know. Actually, I do know. It's the food.
I
It's
was just gonna
sorry,
say it.
I do
I
know.
was just gonna say, I was like, I'm gonna wait to see if
Wait
she
a minute.
can.
I do know. I do know. Right. So there you go. I was not feeling my body. So my recovery was horrible. And now I'm getting the recovery. I didn't come in with like an excessive amount of weight, but I was carrying a lot of fat that I didn't want to have. I wanted to
Mhm.
be stronger. I wanted to see some more definition. So that was like kind of the more physical side. And there's so many other things that we've already talked about, which are far more important. But I've dropped 5% body fat in 6 months. And my scale has only
Wow.
gone down maybe 5 pounds, maybe.
Okay, so how's your viewpoint on that now? Like, make it different with the scale, only 5 pounds down, but 5% body fat, and you see a visible change in your body
Yeah,
now,
I mean,
right?
and before I even went into the cut and lost the pounds, I was weighing the same and still saw significant
Changes.
change in my shape. Yeah. Like it just gives you an incredible amount of confidence, but it's also like I'm reaching my goals, I'm hitting the
Mhm.
things that I wanted to do. And now I'm like, well, I kind of not now I'm going to change my goals and I'm going to make them different and like and
Yes.
see where it takes me
Yeah.
cuz you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes when you're setting your goals, you have a small mind about them instead of kind of a bigger mind about them. So,
Oh man, I love that perspective.
yeah. And I've tripled some of my weights. So, a lot of
Look
weights
at
actually.
you.
Because I also learned that if you don't have to rest in between your sets, you're not lifting heavy enough.
Ye- I
I was
I'm
building super.
speechless. I mean, it's like you've listened to the community calls, the podcast, all
But
the
this is my
videos.
personal story is that in my workouts, I was building little supersets of things in between my sets, and so I was never lifting heavy enough on any muscle group. So
Now
now
with your
I am.
respirator, are you just
And now
flying
this
for those
shirt, I
lifts?
feel like I can wear this shirt in the gym, and it's
Yay.
like I actually feel like I am. So
That's so cool.
I mean, I'm pushing till failure in some cases. So I actually had somebody walk over to me in the gym this morning that thought I needed help. I was like, no, no, I got this. Like,
Let's go.
this is the way.
Do you think all this was possible at 47?
No, no. A lot of people wait until they're about to turn 50. And, I'm like, no, I'm gonna breeze into 50. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, you mentioned like, you see 60, you see 70 inside the group, and now you've got like the tools and the resources that are going to help you get there. And then all of the answer to your question is, can I do this at 80? Is yeah,
Hmm.
you're learning everything you need to do. I'm thoroughly impressed with your knowledge of what you have spoken to here on this interview with everything that you have learned. That'll take you so far.
Learned it all from this program. So, and the more you're in it, you see your AI feed starts to give you more and more of the same, and I love it. And I'm like, oh yes, keep bringing it on.
That's awesome. What would you tell somebody listening to this right now that feels like they've tried everything and nothing works? What would you tell them about Warrior Babe?
I actually wrote something out that I want to read to you. I just want to,
Yeah,
yep.
please do.
Yep. So I just said, if you're thinking about joining Warrior Babe, do it, but come in ready to show up for yourself. This isn't a quick fix or a magic plan. It's a mindset shift. You'll learn how to train with intention, feel your body like it matters, and stop second guessing your worth in the mirror. At first, it might feel intimidating, but trust me, every rep, every meal, every mindset redirection adds up to something powerful: confidence. You'll stop chasing skinny and start chasing strength, mentally and physically. So, my advice: don't wait until you feel ready, because that moment is built in the process, and Warrior Babe will teach you how to build it.
Oh my goodness. You make me cry on this. I got the chills like they're sticking up. That was beautiful.
It's true.
And thank you for that preparation and thinking through that and writing that out. That means a lot. It's you guys, there's us, there's the coaches, but you guys and your stories and your transformations and the way that you feel about the program, man, I can't even put it into words. I just appreciate that. That means a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you for founding it and for growing it.
Yeah, that's why I wake up every day for you guys, man. I wake up every day to bring more, to show up for you guys and what you guys can receive from this program, the value of it. So thank you for trusting us. And Kristy, thank you for just your story is proof that it doesn't need to be another quick fix. It's you need a system that works for you. You need the accountability, the support, but most importantly, like, you got to show up for yourself with what you wrote there. So I appreciate you taking the time, sharing your story here with us. If any of you guys resonate with Kristy's story, check out WarriorBabe.com. Check out all the other success stories too as well, and see what resonates with you the most and give it a shot. Thank you, Kristy. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Nikki.